A musty smell wafts from the rocky area beyond. Maybe there could be some water there. No sooner does the thought cross Trollus's mind than a monster attacks from the shadows. I expected nothing less. The rush of victory over the monster is short-lived, muttering, "Water." The beast does seem to have a great deal of, well, liquid. With a great squelchy squeeze, Trollus wrings the fluid out of the creature's body. Trollus returns to the sand skiff and helps everyone drink some of the slime juice. Each, in turn, regains their vitality. The juice is faintly sweet and tasty. Polka asks, however, Trollus's reply leaves something to be desired. Squeezed it. Everyone drank. Everyone Polka inclines his head, deep in thought. But fruit is rare and hard to come by. The group decides to have Trollus lead them to where she located the sweet liquid. The group arrives at the place where Trollus obtained the liquid, but there seems to be nothing there. Did Trollus bring all of it back in one trip? As you mull your thoughts, Polka suddenly points. Look there. You take a closer look and see that there are cracks running through the rocks. They just might break open if hit with enough force. Legol grunts in affirmation, and then starts hitting the rocks. Over and over again he pounds on them, until blood oozes from his fist, and flecks of it splat. With a cracking sound, the rocks break apart. You can continue on. Beyond the rocks, a barren waste stretches out before you. The party decides to press on through the arid expanse, in hopes of finding a place to rest and eat. You've come across a river that is somehow fully ablaze. There won't be any drinking this water. Polka's curiosity is piqued. He shouts, "But water cannot burn. It defies scientific reason." Next to him, Trollus's nose twitches. She's evidently located something with her keen sense of smell. There might be food nearby. The party opts to trust in Trollus's nose and heads off in the direction she indicates. You arrive in a city humming with life and bustle. There! Trollis practically falls over with excitement as she whips her hand out to point at the stall is stacked high with fresh grilled meats, which are by all accounts the source of the smell she noticed. It's not just only at the food stall, but throughout the city that people seem to make a living using fire. Perhaps Polka cannot hold back his curiosity. In fact, he zips off quickly enough that you and the others lose sight of him. Shrugging your shoulders, you decide to head off in search of him. Heat, heat, heat. He who has the heat controls everything. Heat is everything. This city is hot enough as it is. But the man radiates fervor. You ask the man about Polka, and he replies in an encouraging tone. You'll find him. You will. It is essential that you never give up. The woman is lost in thought as she gazes at the flames from a distance. Love and you find her incomparable presence so overwhelming that you are unable to even ask about Polka. The wise old woman offers cautionary words. You'd best be careful. The flame primal dwells in the lake. You ask the woman about Polka, and she replies, why, he and I were speaking, and he's probably still nearby. You thank the woman and take your leave. The young man is mumbling something. Listening carefully, you put the snatches of audible words together. It sounds as though apparently, said aristocrat is monopolizing the tinder water supply. You ask the lad about Polka, and he answers quickly, he ran off toward the pet shop. You locate Polka in a state of He notices you a moment later and starts chattering rapidly. This town is incredible. And what's more, he goes on without taking a breath. It doesn't sound like his rambles are anywhere close to finished. But then, suddenly, the sound of children weeping reaches your ears. It sounds like it's coming from a back alley. In the back alleyway, two emaciated children stand alone, with naught but the clothes on their backs. Great tears stream down the boy's face. Between sobs, orphans. Not uncommon, something akin to a vice grips your heart, and you wonder if there is some way you can help them. You hit upon an idea. Why not ask the aristocrat making huge profits from the tinder water for assistance? A well-dressed man of clear sophistication and means emerges. You bring up the plight of the city's orphan. The man listens to your story and then hangs his head. I would love to do something. He explains that his son is bedridden. stricken with an illness of unknown origin. The aristocrat's mind seems fully preoccupied with thoughts of his own child. At a loss, you look over at Polka. He catches your glance. Polka explains that he has some medical knowledge, and the man practically leaps on him, desperate enough to cling to any ray of hope. It looks as though Polka will be performing an impromptu medical exam. According to Polka, the aristocrat's child has been poisoned. The man's jaw falls open. That cannot be. My household employs silverware that reacts to poison in food. You suggest the possibility that there could be a venomous monster nearby. At this suggestion, the aristocrat blurts out, "The flame primal. It exudes a toxic gas." Polka explains that if the source of the poison was indeed somehow the flame primal, it might be possible to crack. And then, as though struck by an idea, he adds, and perhaps as a thank you for my doing so, we might discuss aid for the poor orphans of the city? Yes, of course. Seeing the aristocrat's immediate response, you can't help but be astonished by Polka's wisdom and negotiating skill. Upon leaving the manor, Polka explains, with no small amount of pride in his voice, it seems like his running about all over the city wasn't for nothing. What can I help you with? The shopkeep asks. Anything else? The shopkeep inquires. victory! Polka warns, don't breathe too deeply here. The very air could be noxious poison. Battle time. Battle time. Battle time. Battle time. You pick up a scrap of paper you spot by your feet. It appears to be part of a crudely drawn treasure map. A sketched treasure chest lies between a lake, white mountains, a treasure map. You slip the scrap of paper into your pack and make a mental note to keep an eye out for the location the doodle depicts. Battle time. Monsters bar the path. They probably don't see many humans around here. Given the taking care to be as quiet as possible, you steal close to the monsters and attack them.
What?
look like they're trying to find an opening to make a run for it.
Get him.
You survey the area for some way to cross over and spot an iron bridge. Collapsed. Someone in a time long past built a bridge here. Suddenly, an idea strikes you. Maybe I can use the steel primal's power to manipulate metal and make it so we can cross. You decide to summon forth the primal's power and repair. Unfortunately, the pieces left to you are so mangled that no one would rightly identify them as parts of a bridge. You've joined these two bridge parts rather skillfully if you... I think there might be a better way of placing that. If we could just redo it, he mutters to himself. With the steel primal's help, the bridge you've built remains firmly in place. It actually looks quite sturdy. You should be able to use it to cross as many times as you like. As if crossing over a lake of fire, you quickly survey your You call upon the steel primal once more and prepare to improvise another bridge. You've made it once again. You summon the steel primal, but the pieces the primal hauls out of the tin. You look back at the bridges that brought you here. Alas, you've built them too. Trollis, seeing the worry on your face, chirps encouragingly. Search. We will find. Must be way. Inside is impossibly a bridge part. You should be able to use this to get further across the Tinderwater. Trollis gazes intently at you. She explains that ever since she was picked up by the... However, as she puts it, she has not managed to improve. She asks you to give her some pointers on how to get monsters to obey. And you reply, A massive monster wreathed in. This is, in all likelihood, the Flame Primal. Your party readies their weapons and prepares for a fight.
Slay this beast for the children!
You can't tell if it has something to do with the primal, but poison is slowly coursing through you. You must end this battle quickly. You've managed to gain the advantage on your foe, but suddenly you feel as if suffocated and fall upon one knee. Your poisoned body is screaming, raging in protest. The flame primal clearly isn't going to let this chance pass it up, and it begins amassing power. Barely thinking, you go right, attempting to dodge the primal's attack. But your foot catches on something, and you shut your eyes, believing this might be the end of you. But the pain you brace yourself for doesn't come. You wonder what's happened, and open your eyes to see. Trollis, you scream. She turns to you and gives a pained smile. The acrid smell of burning meat assaults your nostrils and pushes back the flame primal. Trollis has given you and your friends a chance. You stand, and together you and your comrades attack the primal with all your strength. You've done it. You've beaten the flame primal. A masterful victory! The flames upon the lake begin to recede and then blink out entirely. Perhaps because you've beaten the flame primal? You see Trollis crouching on the ground and run over to her. "Are you all right?" you ask. Having rather shrewdly managed to gather some of the flame primal's bodily fluids during the fight, Polka immediately sets about inspecting it to determine its composition. To the great surprise of all, he does not detect any trace of poison in the fluid. Could something else be the cause?